Hi everyone, welcome back to Frugal Watch Box. Today we're diving into a budget beast 1 year later. This is the Skmei 1328, a digital watch that cost me a whopping $7. That's right, less than a meal at Taco Bell and lasts longer than your New Year's resolutions. Now, I got the black version, and I bought it for two simple reasons. One, it's a near clone of the legendary Casio B640W, which just happens to be one of my all-time favorite retro watches. And two, at just 34mm, it's a compact, no-nonsense size that fits my humble 6.5-inch wrist like it was tailor-made. But here's what I really like about it. The blacked-out look gives it a stealthy, low-key vibe. It doesn't scream for attention, but if you know, you know. It's got that quiet, retro charm that flies under the radar, perfect for everyday wear, especially if you want something that looks cool, but won't make you cry if it gets scratched. So, was this ultra-budget Casio alternative actually worth it after 1 whole year? Let's break it down and find out.
Case dimensions.
All right, let's start with the numbers, because specs matter no matter what price point you're shopping at. Here's what we're working with. Case size, 34mm across. That's retro, compact, and just a hair smaller than the Casio B640W. It's copied. Lug-to-lug distance, 39.2mm. It hugs the wrist nicely without any awkward overhang. Thickness, 10.7mm. Slim enough to slip under any cuff, hoodie, dress shirt, or even your flannel pajamas. Lug width, 18mm, which means you can swap straps if you ever get tired of the stock bracelet. Weight, just 37 grams. That's lighter than your iPhone charging cable, folks. You'll forget it's even there until you catch yourself staring at it. It's compact, clean, and very wearable, especially if your wrists lean more toward the Hobbit side like mine. I mean, this thing doesn't just fit, it belongs there. No lug overhang, no bulky case trying to escape your wrist. Just a nice, snug fit that feels like it was made for smaller wrists. And honestly, the size makes it feel more vintage authentic too. You don't need a dinner plate strapped to your arm to make a statement. Sometimes, subtlety is the flex.
Wrist shot.
Here's how this little watch looks on my tiny 6.5-inch wrist. Just right, not too small, not too large. It's right in that sweet spot of size and comfort. You could say it's the perfect middle ground of digital watches. It hits that balance where style and wearability come together without screaming for attention. It's nearly identical in footprint to the Casio B640W, which measures around 35mm. That makes it an ideal choice if you're into that retro digital style but don't want to sacrifice wearability. If you like low-profile digital watches that won't eat your wrist alive, this one totally fits the bill. And let's be real, today's oversized watch trend isn't for everyone. Some of us prefer compact, minimalist watches that fly under the radar, and the Skmei 1328 absolutely delivers on that front. It doesn't just fit, it flatters. Whether you're a student, tech enthusiast, or just hunting for the best affordable digital watch, this piece offers that classic vintage feel without the bulk. And with a case this sleek and lightweight, it's practically tailor-made for everyday carry. Honestly, for anyone with smaller wrists, or just an appreciation for old-school digital charm, this watch gives you that nostalgic look paired with modern-day comfort. A budget-friendly digital watch that feels anything but cheap.
1 year checkup.
I've worn it occasionally. It shares time with the rest of the gang in my box, but it's held up well. Let's break it down. The resin crystal has some minor scratches, nothing deep. Totally expected for this price. The ABS case and bezel. Light scuffs here and there. Honestly, I've seen worse on more expensive watches. The case back has scratches too, but all the print is still readable. Outer ring, water resist 3 ATM, battery code CR2025. Inside, model 1328, a large Skmei logo and 3 ATM. Fun fact, no stainless steel marking means, yeah, it's probably not stainless steel. The black bracelet has light wear, but thanks to the color, scratches aren't very noticeable. It does rattle though, like it's trying to start a conversation. No logo on the clasp, and the bracelet is a direct copy of Casio's B640W, which means it's easy to resize, even if you've got more thumbs than tools. And again, for $7, I'm not mad.
Viewing angles.
Let's talk about viewing angles, because yes, even on a $7 watch, we care about that sort of thing. When you flip the watch left to right, or right to left, there's no ghosting at all. It's surprisingly clear, making it one of the better performing Skmei models in this department. It almost feels like the display is waving at you saying, "Don't worry, I got you." Now, when you tilt it up and down or down and up, yeah, that's where the ghosting kicks in hard. It's not just a blur. It's more like the display drank too much coffee and can't sit still. If you're trying to sneak a look at the time during a meeting by flipping your wrist subtly, good luck. It's going to look like a haunted digital mess. But still, for a $7 watch, totally forgivable. It's like getting gas station coffee. It might not be fancy, but it wakes you up and does the job.
Button performance.
This watch features the classic 4-button setup, just like the Casio B640W, but the actual arrangement is a bit different. One key difference is the mode button. It's not recessed like it is on the B640W, which makes it easier to press, but also increases the chance of accidental presses, especially during daily wear or if you're a little clumsy with wrist movements. On the right side, the top button controls the start function, while the bottom button is used for reset. Over on the left, the top button activates the EL backlight, and the bottom one switches modes. Since the mode button isn't recessed, it's easy to press, but also slightly more prone to accidental bumps during daily wear.
Dial design.
Design-wise, this is straight up to no case, rectangular with those smooth, rounded corners. Think budget digital elegance. The design is clearly inspired by the legendary Casio B640W, borrowing heavily from its iconic retro aesthetic. Here's what you get: bold Skmei logo on top, below that, water resist 30M stamp, a fine white border around the display, and a gray frame around the display panel adds a nice visual depth. Indicators include: top left, alarm and hourly chime indicators; top middle, day of the week; top right, month and date. Below that are the SIG and ALM indicators, which are double because we already have the icons above. Bottom, big digits for hour, minute, and seconds. Above the minutes is a small triangle icon copied straight from Casio's playbook. But unlike the B640W, it just blinks. No light trigger. Sad triangle. Still, layout is intuitive and super legible.
Alarm test.
Now let's talk alarms. It's got a longer tweet sound than the Casio B640W. It's not painfully loud, but it's enough to wake you, unless you're sleeping in a metal concert or college dorm. In a quiet room, it'll do the job. Just don't rely on it for 5 a.m. boot camp.
Electroluminescence backlight.
Here's where the Skmei 1328 really pulls ahead. The backlight. It gives off a greenish-blue glow, reminiscent of vintage Casios. But here's the kicker. It doesn't just light up the whole screen. It puts the spotlight on the digits and indicators, making them pop with crisp, clear visibility. At night, it works like a charm. During boring Zoom meetings when you're totally paying attention, even better. For just $7, this is a surprisingly high-value feature. If nighttime readability matters to you, or if you just like a cool retro glow, this backlight won't disappoint.
Water resistance test.
It's rated at 3 ATM. That's 30 meters on paper. But in real-life terms, think splash-proof and sink-safe. Not, let's go scuba diving. After a year of wear, I ran it under tap water, dunked it in the sink, and guess what? Still ticking like a champ. Honestly, for $7, I half expected it to panic at the first drop of water and short-circuit itself out of sheer fear. But nope, this little guy held its ground. Waterproofish and proud.
Final verdict.
So what's the final word? Pros. 1. Dirt cheap. 2. Reliable after a year. 3. Good copy of the B640W. 4. Easy to wear in size. 5. Good backlight. 6. Decent water resistance. 7. Surprisingly durable. Cons. 1. Rattly bracelet. 2. Alarm could be louder. 3. No real premium feel, but come on, it's $7. Ideal for students, beginner collectors, retro digital lovers, and anyone who wants a fun beater watch.
I think that's the end of the video, guys. If you made it this far, congrats! You now know more about a $7 watch than most people know about their car insurance policy. Like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment. What's your favorite budget digital watch? Have you tried any other Skmei watches? Want to support the channel? There's a Buy Me a Coffee and Amazon Gear links below. Every little bit helps this small channel keep ticking. Pun 100% intended. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.